Thank you for joining us. On this episode, we have special guest Rob Lamichella. Thanks for joining us, Rob.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Rob is a corporate training consultant and speaker, selling from stage expert. He's a skills coach. He MCs charity auctions. He boasts 100% closure rates. And he's recently travelled first class around the world. Very impressive, Rob. So,
I'm
Rob,
a lucky man, Jacob.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Tell us about you, who you are and what you do.
Cool. I combine two things. I'm a professional corporate educator, so training consultant. My passion's in sales training and really in sales management training. So working with leaders, fostering leadership. You mentioned overseas. I've been working with emerging leaders and actual business leaders with large corporates, both in London and New York, and of course here in Australia.
Wow.
So, I feel very blessed to do the work that I do.
That's beautiful.
My real passion is actually presenting from stage. So I've MC'd Moomba a couple of times in really large festivals and events. Love doing it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's a bit about me.
So, Rob, what would you define success as?
For me, success is achieving the results that you want to achieve. So getting what you want to get on purpose. It's about having a life of design. Yeah.
Very nice.
If you can combine what you're passionate about and make a living from that, that to me, that's success.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And do you have a mentor or business coach?
I don't have a business coach as such, but I do have many mentors. I'm lucky enough to be able to get on the phone to people who run large corporations and CEOs and ask for guidance. Yeah.
It's important, isn't it?
I'm Italian. I've been taught, learn from people who are smarter than you, not those who are dumber than you. So,
What great advice. Great advice.
Yeah.
And in times of stress, what do you do to stay centered and what do you think about when you're stressed out?
I look at, well, hang on, what's actually my objective? At the end, what am I after specifically? Just remind myself, okay, all right, I'm not going to get there the way I really wanted to get there, but I will get there if I'm patient. I like to look at, hang on, what can I control? What can I not control? And just try to stay focused on those things I can control.
Yes, that's great advice, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this series, Rob, I created this series because what I wanted to do was give the audience some tools and techniques on how to have an edge. Mm-hmm. And that edge, I believe, is a mental mindset edge. Mm-hmm. Do you use visualizations?
Yep, sure. Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Look, I believe in immersing yourself in that you want to be involved in. If I wanted to be a comedian, I'd go to a whole lot of comedy gigs. If I wanted to be a jazz musician, I'd be going to a whole lot of jazz gigs. Yeah, and I'd be wanting to see the best in the world. So I think that helps a lot. Actually be where you want to be.
Yes. So live it in your mind.
Live it in real life. Be there.
Great.
Be in that environment.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Go into the house that you dream of owning one day.
Yes.
Actually walk into it.
Oh, so you're talking about the experience. So for example, if the audience wanted to, if their dream was to buy a Porsche, you'd take them to a Porsche dealership, put them in that Porsche, drive the Porsche, experience the Porsche, feel it, live it and be in it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
And what about goals, Rob? Do you set goals, and if so, how often?
I've got an overarching goal, and my goal is to be, an amazing, persuasive, world-class speaker.
Yes.
So I have that in front of me. I use everything as a goal and an inspiration. I watch The Voice and think, there's people being discovered and living their dream and being acknowledged for what's really good about them.
Yes.
I think, God, you can't get better than that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Rob, why do you do what you do?
I'm compelled to. I don't feel like I've got a choice in the matter. I think I'm born to do what I do.
Yes.
There's a movie called Punchline, and I think the husband asks the wife, Sally Field, what are you doing? You're stealing out in the middle of the night doing comedy gigs. Why? And she said, I get a feeling when I'm doing what I'm doing, I have this feeling that no one in the world can do it quite like me.
Yes.
And that's the answer to your question. There's something that I bring that no one can bring quite like me.
What great self-belief. That's really good self-belief. And a good tip all the audience should absolutely use all the time. Rob, what do you feel separates a champion from an average performer?
That old thing about never ever give up.
Yes.
Yeah. Being absolutely clear on what your context is, what your purpose is. Being fighting fit, always being ready to deliver on that you're up for. And doing more than what's expected of you. There's an old adage that if you do 10% more than what's expected of you, the results may well be 50% more than what you set out to achieve.
And last question, Rob. What tips would you give our audience today to become limitless?
Be crystal clear on what it is you want in the end. So have a very clear context that shapes what you do and how you do it. Be deserving. Get to a point where you say, "Hey, guess what? I actually deserve this." Yeah. Yeah. There are probably a couple of things. Yeah.
Great. That's great advice. Rob Lamichella, thank you so much for being on the series. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, and we hope that your wisdom, your advice, and your energy can help many people live a life and lift their game. Thanks very much for being on the show.
Cheers.
Thank you.